Hi there, a very warm welcome to Coding Techniques again. Today we are going to learn something very interesting which you have never done before, I suppose, which is adding dynamic inputs into our application. So I'll create an ion list within which I'm going to show how to create dynamic ion inputs. So which is going to be pretty interesting to work with. Let's dive into this particular video right now, which is going to be pretty interesting. And also I want to tell you one more thing before we jump into that there is a limited period offer that is going on in my course. You get a lot of limited period offers in this particular month, so get enrolled in the particular course if you haven't done so right now. So with that being said, let's dive into this particular video right now. So out here I have already created a new project. Let me just show you the project how I have created if you do not know. So I have used this particular command, okay, to create a new project, and after that the second command, it was asking me for creating an Ionic account. I just clicked on no, this is the one, right? And after that is done, I just went into the project folder by just copying this and pasting it out here and typing this particular command to enter my Visual Studio Code. And I'm into this Visual Studio Code now, where I'm already running Ionic serve and our app is up and running out here. Now I have made few changes already. Let me just tell you, I have cleared my homepage SCSS. Along with that, I have also removed all the code from the homepage HTML, and this is the code that you can have. It's pretty simple, right? Now out here I have given a color to primary to my ion toolbar, whose color also I have changed in the variables.scss. So this is the color combination that I am having out here. Well, if you do not know how to change the colors out here, well, you can simply go to this particular link. Let me just maximize it up just to show you. So this is the particular link. You just go to the Ionic framework docs. Let me just go out here at first. I'll just open it in another tab so that I can just show you properly. Once I'm into the Ionic framework documentation, then I'll simply scroll to the bottom within the theming section, and out here I'll go to the colors one. Now in the colors one at the right side, you can see new color generator. You just simply click on that and you enter out here. Now out here, you simply need to pass this thing primary and this particular color. There is another way to get this primary color, but yeah, this is the easiest way you can do, okay? But this is mainly used for generating a new color, but I'm showing you how to do it pretty quickly. So you just pass the color that I have passed and you will get this stuff. Simply copy it up and paste it out there in your code. That's it. Let me clear all this stuff, not needed, and I'll minimize it up. Back to the normal, okay? So now our project is up and running. Now what we need to do out here, let me just close this variable.scss at first, and in the ion content I'm going to play around with this stuff. So the name that I've given is add dynamic inputs. So basically we are going to add dynamic ion inputs out here. So for doing that up, I will use an ion item within the ion content. Let me use an ion list at first. So ion list, within that I will have the ion item. Okay, now I will run a loop out here for this ion item. So let item of items. Okay, now this items one, I'll create it out here. Items which will be of type any array, and I'll initialize it to an empty array. Okay, now what I'll do in the HTML, within this ion item, what I'll do, or should I show you a single design at first? Because you will be confused if I just do that up. So let me just cut this for the time being. Okay, let me do everything out here at first for at least one ion input. Now first of all, what I'll do, let me pass a color to this ion item so that we can identify, okay, this is the ion item list. Along with that, I don't want any lines, so lines to be none. Now within this ion item, I'm going to have an ion input in this particular manner. Within this ion input, let me pass a placeholder, add more items. Alright, you can see this particular ion input is coming up. Then what am I going to do? Before this ion input, I want something, a dot symbol out here. For that, I will use a span, within which I will simply pass a character symbol. So ampersand hash, this is for a bigger dot, 9679 semicolon. Now you can see a dot is showing up, right? So this is how we can write. You can just search it on the internet how to have a small dot, bigger dot, or any kind of a design which you want. You can just get this particular symbol out there and you can just directly paste it out here. Okay, now let me work with the SCSS out here. What am I going to do in the SCSS? I will have the ion content. Within that I have the ion list, and within the ion list I have the ion item. Within the ion item, I have the span and I also have the ion input. So I can work with all of it. With the ion input, I don't think I need to work, but I'll keep it for the time being. First of all, I'll start with the span. Let me pass a color to it of primary. So variable dash dash ion color primary. You can see the color is changed, right? Now, in order to have the gap between these two, the ion input and this particular span one, what I'll do out here, let me pass slot to be start. Now it's looking better, right? And to my ion list, let me pass a class ion margin. I think that will be better. Now you can see this is properly separated, right? Along with that, what am I going to do? In the ion list, let me pass a border radius. So border radius of, let's say, 5 pixel will be better, I suppose. Or should I need to pass it in the ion item? But if I pass it in the ion item, it's gonna look the same, right? Let's try with 10 pixels. No, it won't work out here. It will work in the ion item, but I don't want to give it out there. So let me keep it as it is for the time being. So the basic designing is done. In the ion input, well, I don't need to do anything out here. So I've removed it up. Now what else do I need to do? Well, the design looks okay. So let me simply work with the array one. So now I'm going to pass the array out here. Let me break this down in this particular manner. And I'll use an ng4 out here. Let item of items. Okay. And out here also you can pass a condition if you don't want the list to exist. If there is nothing in this particular items array, then you can simply pass items (.length) should be greater than 0. Then only you will be able to see this particular list. Let me just move it towards the left side. Now you will be able to see, or should I not do that? Instead, I should remove it in this particular manner, right? So now you can see there is no inputs out here. Now what do I need to do for getting that up? Now for having the dynamic data, at first I need at least one ion input out here by default, right? For doing that up, I'll go to the TS file and out here, let me create a function at first called add input. Now within this particular function, what am I going to do? I will push an item within this particular items array. So this dot items dot push, and within this I can push an object or directly the string. I can push it out here or any value, but let me just use an object where I'll pass the name of the item to be not in this particular name. Let me pass a name which is an empty one, okay, so that you can type it yourself. It's gonna change. All right, and then you can simply log out here in this particular manner what is the value of this particular items out here. Okay, once that is done, we need to make some changes out here so that we can see whether the changes are getting impacted or not. But let me do it step by step. At first, I'll call this add input in my constructor or in the ng on init. I think I should call it out there. In fact, implements on init. Okay, import it. Now I'll simply use out here ng on init. If you want the difference between constructor and ng on init, I'll explain in another video. Just let me know in the comment section if you want to know about it. Okay, so I'll simply call out here this dot add input. All right, I should be capital, right? Let me change it. Okay, now it is changed. Fine. Now you can see a single item is showing out here by default. That's what we need. And in the logs, well, let me just show you out here. I'll go to the logs and you can see an array of single item is showing up. This is the value. Now out here in the ion input, what I need to do in order to see the changes out here properly and have it in our array also, what I'm going to use ng model out here. So both input and output, it's going to work with this ng model, which will be equals to items. Now I need to get the index of it. For that I will simply use out here I equals to index. Okay, it's gonna be let I equals to index. Fine. Now I can simply use the index because I will hold the index right now. Dot name. So the value of name, I'm directly going to pass it out here. All right. So it's going to hold the name, whichever value is already present. And whenever you make some changes out here, it's going to reflect out here also and in the array too. All right. That is what I'm doing out here. Let me break it down. Oops. All right. So if I type something out here, I just want to show you. If I type anything out here, but I won't be able to see it out there because I'm not logging anywhere, so that I can see the value of it. But yeah, there you go. You can see the value of it, right? So the value is also showing up now. That's great. So that is how it is working. Okay. So the single item is properly working. We are able to fetch the value and update the value also in our particular array. Now what I need to track out here? Well, I need to add another item whenever you start typing out here. So for doing that up, I need to track the ion change out here. Whenever there is a change, ion change in input. This is the function name that I'm going to pass out here. Okay, within which I will have the event that is going to get triggered. So let's create this function and check it out. What is the event that is getting triggered? I'll copy this whole stuff and go to my its file, and out here I'm going to create this particular function in this particular manner, log the particular event that is getting triggered. Let me remove this dollar symbol. Okay, now it's fine. So I'll just open this up, and if I'm making any change out here, you can see the event is getting triggered, and out here what all things do I get? I get the detail and value. Along with that, what I need out here, I don't need actually this value. Instead, I need the particular index. Along with that particular value, I need to check, right? So I'll get the value from here. Along with that, what I'll do out here, I'll pass the index, comma, I. Okay, what's wrong? Okay. Out here also I need to pass event comma index. Now the error will go away. Yes, it is gone. Correct. Now I can simply check out here the index also if you want to check. Okay. Alright, so this is done. Let me just show you if you want to. Out here, if I just type something right now, we will see event is getting triggered. Along with that, 0 is also showing up. That is the index out here. Alright. Now what do I need to do out here? Let me just tell you. I'll simply check for that particular value that I'm getting in this particular ion change. If I'm changing anything, I'm getting the value out here in the detail. Let me just show you. In the detail value, I need to access this up. How will I access this up? Let me create a constant called value, which will be equals to event.detail.value. Alright. I'll check a simple condition if this value exists and the value question mark dot length is greater than 0. Alright. Then what am I going to do? Even you can skip this particular thing also because we have given a question mark, so it's going to work properly. So if this condition is satisfied, then what am I going to do? I need to check another condition out here, which will be related to our ion input. So I'll check this dot items in this particular array list. If I have an item whose index is greater than this one, that means index plus 1. If it already exists, then I am not going to do anything. But if it does not exist, then I will simply add this dot, means add another input. So this dot add input, I'm going to call it out here. So if you're still confused, let me just tell you what am I doing out here. Whenever there is an input change, whenever you start typing out here something, let me just type something. TR something, you can see another ion item is added out here. Okay, that is what I'm doing out here because I'm checking this particular condition. Suppose if you don't type anything out here, okay, I have just removed everything, fine, then this won't be added again. Okay, that is why I'm checking out here if the length of this particular string is greater than 0. Now if I give a space also, still it's going to work. Okay, so that is what I'm tracking out here, and then I'm checking if this particular one already exists or not. Out here it is already existing, right? So if it exists or not, that is what I'm checking out here. If it does not exist, then I'll create one. Otherwise, there is already another one available, so I don't need to do that up until unless I reach out here and go for typing something. Okay, then you can see another one is created. That is what it's being done out here, and it is properly working. You can see, right? Once that is done, what I need to do next, I need to check for the empty ones, because out here you can see this one is empty right now. If I just remove everything from here, again these are empty. Okay, so if you just click on someone, the next one is empty or not. That is what we are going to check, and how we are going to do that up. For doing that up, let me go to the HTML, and out here I will use a click event. So whenever you're clicking on this, I'll check for empty input. Okay, so let me simply copy this function name. I'll go to the TypeScript one, and out here I'm going to simply create this function. Alright, now within this function I simply need to check if the items length, so this dot items dot length, if it is greater than 1, then only I need to remove, because if it is 1, then I'll still keep it, because I need at least one item to be there, right? So within this particular condition, if it is greater than 1, then what am I going to do? I'm going to filter the data. How will I do that up? This dot items will be equals to this dot items dot filter. Now within this filter, let me call the item only directly out here. You can call X or any name you can pass that will hold the element. Let me give element only. All right. Now this element will hold the single object. So I'll check out here element not equals to an empty string. Okay, or you can check the length also if you want to. Let me check the length only. Dot length greater than 0. All right. And also if you want to avoid spaces also, you can simply use the trim function. So for that you can use the trim function. Let me just show you element dot length greater than 0 and element dot trim function, or I can directly use the trim function out here, right? I think in this particular manner. I don't need to give any other condition, I suppose. All right, let's check it out. So now I'll just type something out here. Let me say techniques. So now you can see I've added an item and you can see another one is created. Now if I just remove something from here, okay, I've cleared everything. Now if I click on the second item, what's wrong? Whether it is working or not, let me just check it out here. Where is it? Alright, there is an error with the trim function is not a function. Alright, the trim is not detected sometimes. Alright, I'm doing something wrong out here because this element is an object, right? So I need to get the name within that. So element.name.length is greater than 0, or I can use the trim function to the name itself, right? Now let's check it out here. No errors as such as of now. If I type something out here, techniques. Alright, the event is getting triggered and let me just clear this up. The data is added. Now let me, okay, if I clicked on that, there was no item. That is actually wrong, because if that items doesn't work properly, let me just type something out here, and if I click on it, it's getting disappeared. If it is getting disappeared, it won't work properly, right? So I need to do something out here. So in order to rectify this problem, well, I need to track it up. How to track it up? For that, I need to change my data out here in the add input. I will simply have another property out here called flag, which will be high whenever I'm adding another input. Okay, so why I'm doing so? Because whenever the flag is 0, then also I can track it. So whenever there is a change and I need to remove that up, then simply I will change it to 0. I'll show you, no need to worry about it. So for the time being, this is the thing that I'm going to add out here, alright, which will help us in tracking. So out here in the condition 1, if there is any change in the input and the value length is greater than 0, that means there is something in this particular string, right? The string has some value out there. Then I'm adding this particular input, but if there is nothing in that particular string, then what am I going to do? I'm simply going to set this dot items of that particular index, flag of it will be 0. Alright, so that is actually a boolean value, 0 and 1 it's going to have. So that is how I can track it up. So whenever there is some value in that particular string, then definitely I will add another input, but if it does not have, then I'll simply set the flag to 0. And also if the flag is set to 0 and again you are adding some string out here and then there is a change in this particular one, then in this particular condition I need to add one more step, which is to toggle this particular value out here. Okay, so let me create a function in fact for doing that up. Let me do it out here, toggle flag, where let me simply pass the index and this dot items dot index dot flag will be equals to not of, copy and paste it out here. Or instead of that, what I'll do, let me just not do the toggle one because that is for true and false mostly. I'll pass the value out here. Okay, so the value will be directly set out here. That's it. So I don't need to type the same code again and again. Instead, I'll simply use this dot toggle flag, within that the index and 0. I'm going to simply pass it out here. That's it. Same thing I'm going to do out here also. Alright, but in here I need to check a condition. What is that condition? The condition is going to be if this dot flag value that I'm going to have, that means I need to check this up. If the value of this particular flag is 0, equals to 0, then only I need to set it to 1. Okay, that is what I'm going to check out here. Alright, now this looks fine, so that is good. Now in the check empty input, I need to change the condition now. What will be the condition? Let me just break it down a bit and I'll show you exactly what I'm looking for. Now along with the trim one, that means along with the name, I'm checking only the name out here. I need to check the flag also. So there will be two conditions out here. The first one is going to be if the name string is empty at that point of time. So along with this condition, now what am I going to do? I'm going to check another condition. Either if the string length is greater than 0, then I'm going to have that particular data, or if the string length is equals to 0, along with that, if the flag value of that particular element equals to 1, those records I want it to be out here. Alright, now let's check this out. So this is the proper condition which I have given out here. Let me just break it down, or I hope that works while breaking also. Alright, so this is the overall condition that I'm having out here. Now let's check it out. So I've just clicked out here and let me just type any item name, say pencil. Okay, now the second item has opened up. Let me type out here pen. Third item has opened up. Now if I remove this pencil, let's see what happens. I've just cleared it up. Okay, and if I click on the second one, now the first one is removed, right? Not the last one. Why? Because the first one value is reset to 0. The flag value is reset to 0. And if you want to see, let me just show you out here. Well, where I'm in checking. Okay, I should log it out here. What I'll do, in order to show you the logs, I'll just simply comment this up. And in fact, let me just have this particular array. Okay, I'll log it out here also, so that we will be able to see what is the exact value that we are getting out here. Alright, now let me try it again. Pencil, pen, remove the pencil one. Alright, now out here you can see there are 3 items, correct? Now the first item flag is 0, second one is 1, third one is 1, correct? But in the first and the last one we have empty string. So according to our condition, it will check, or it will take those array items where you have even the empty string but the flag is set to 1. Or you can simply check if the flag is 1 everywhere. You can simply skip all those which are having flag 0. That also you can do. Alright, but I'm checking 2 conditions out here just to be on the safe side. So I'm checking if there is some string out here, along with that the flag one too. Now if I click anywhere else, you just see out here, I'll click on the pen one. The first one is removed, right? Now I have the data out here, okay, which is actually this particular items data, because whenever I'm checking for the empty input, then only it is getting triggered, right? That is why. So at that point of time, I have this data out here, but it is filtered. Now if I just type something out here again and tap on it, I'm tapping the same thing only. So when I'm clicking on that, now you can see I have 2 items. Alright, so that is how it is working. So we have successfully created the dynamic input boxes out here. Alright, everything is working fine out here. Okay, so I've just reloaded it up. Now the only thing that I want to change out here is the design of the iron list, because I want to give some border radius. Now in order to give the border radius, what am I going to do? I'll go to the SCSS, and out here in the iron list, I've removed everything. I'll just paste this code where the background color I'll set it to light color, and a border radius of 10 pixel I'm going to pass out here. Now you can see it is nicely showing up. Let me just try it again. Pencil, pen. I'm just giving the stationary items thing. Okay, sharpener. If I remove the pen, click on sharpener, pen is removed, right? So everything is working fine, and I can see this nice border radius coming up. Alright, so this is what I wanted to show you. Let me have the pen out here, and it's properly working. So I hope you like this particular video. This is, according to me, pretty interesting one, which I thought of sharing with you all. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you're new out here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the content that is provided out here is free of cost, and subscribing to the channel will help the channel grow, and you will get all the notifications on time. So with that being said, I'll wrap up this video out here. See you guys next time.